Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, your premier source for Second Amendment news. It's Monday morning. The Monday Morning Grind is brought to us by Blackout Coffee. Check them out if you're into coffee, gourmet styles, flavored, subscription orders, ground, whole bean, tea, cool Second Amendment stuff related to this channel. Check them out. Down below will be a link. It's also blackoutcoffee.com/GNG. Thank you to Blackout Coffee for helping to support the channel. And I wanted to talk to you all today about something that I've been mulling through the last week as I plan my future. And that is, what are the best states for gun owners? I've seen a couple metrics online, different maps, and they're rated based off of different things. But the one I thought would be most valuable to bring to you that I'm actually using in my search for the future home is one that's put out annually by Guns and Ammo. Now they rate every state, including DC, 1 through 51, and they use 5 different categories to rate each state. Each state gets between 0 and 10 in these categories, and then based off of their total number, that's how they're ranked. And if there's a tie, then they use their miscellaneous category. But I'll tell you the quick 5 categories, and then we'll go over each state real quick. So if you might be deciding on where your future home should be, this can actually help you. The first category they use to determine the best gun-friendly states in America is right to carry. They use things such as the standard for issuance, training requirements, costs, reciprocity, and the extent of locations where licensees are prohibited from carrying. May issue states that rarely issue permits are graded accordingly, and they can receive 1 to 6 points in this area, depending on standard review factors. Shall issue states are given between 6 and 8 points, depending on those factors there as well. States with legal, permitless, or constitutional carry are given 9 points, whereas states that issue both permits and allow citizens to carry without a permit are given a full 10 points. Now, open carry laws, they're in their miscellaneous category, and they use those to use as a tiebreaker, among other things. So that's category 1, right to carry. Category number 2 is black rifles. We all know what that is. And in this category, they examine whether a state regulates or bans firearms based off of their appearance. This category reflects whether a state regulates any category of firearm by its features or limits the capacity of magazines. The third category is NFA. Now, the NFA, the National Firearms Act, regulates the sale, transfer, and possession of machine guns, suppressors, short-barreled rifles, short-barreled shotguns, destructive devices, and any other weapons. Now, the law allows states to further restrict those items, and this category takes that into effect, especially considering a lot of states are pushing to legalize silencers and suppressors right now, or recently. Number 4 is the use of force, or the castle doctrine, in each state. Some states, like Massachusetts, require citizens to retreat before they can defend their lives. And this category rates states based off of their restrictions for people to utilize force to defend their lives inside their homes, outside their homes, and at businesses. And number 5, finally, is their miscellaneous category that considers states' open carry laws, as well as preemption laws, availability of places to shoot, competitive shooting groups, etc. So that is the basis of their rankings. We're going to start at the very bottom of the barrel with number 51, and that is the state of New York. The Empire State is just riddled with gun control, run by anti-gun Democrats, and the peak of their Mount Rushmore in New York for gun control was the SAFE Act. New York has mandatory storage legislation, red flag laws that don't allow NFA items. They have a magazine capacity restriction, and carry permits are very hard to come by. All that and more puts New York at number 51. Number 50, Massachusetts. Massachusetts is usually in the race to become the most anti-gun. In addition to being a may-issue state, we have things such as bump stock bans and red flag laws. We also ban rifles based off how they look. We have magazine restrictions. We have mandatory storage requirements. And we ban anything related to the NFA. Also, to make this state even worse for gun owners, we have a mandatory requirement to retreat if you're ever attacked in your home, which makes it awesome to live here. And that's Massachusetts, number 50 in the worst states for gun owners. Number 49 is New Jersey. New Jersey has instituted magazine bans. They did that without a grandfather clause, ordered their citizenry to destroy or remove those magazines. The legislature passed a law for smart guns being required in the state, even though that technology doesn't exist. Their concealed carry permits are extremely expensive, yet very, very difficult to get. And they also ban NFA stuff. That's New Jersey, number 49. Let's go across the pond to Hawaii now at number 48. And if you're familiar with the case, Young versus Hawaii, Hawaii does not issue permits, whether it's open carry or concealed carry. They haven't done it in over 20 years. Really don't know when the last time they actually issued one because their records only go back 20 years. But Hawaii, you can't utilize your Second Amendment. And that case is coming up this month, September 23rd. The 9th is going to hear that case. They also ban NFA items. They have a magazine capacity law, and their self-defense laws are rather weak. That's Hawaii at number 48. Number 47, and surprised me that California is number 47. I thought for sure they were going to be the worst, but taking into consideration some of the factors and the metrics that Guns and Ammo has used, they have placed California at 47, better than Massachusetts. That makes me feel real great. Perhaps California will drop next year as they do these at the end of each calendar year. So these are technically based off of everything that happened up through the end of October of 2019. But California has the worst of the worst, right? You can't defend yourself, can't have NFA items, magazine restrictions, micro stamping requirements. The list goes on in California. And in certain parts of the state, getting a permit is impossible. When it comes to the NFA, yeah, you can't have a suppressor. Some other things are allowed based off of certain circumstances. But California comes in at number 47. Number 46 is Washington, D.C., and I believe this one will change when they release their new list at the end of this year. But Washington went from may issue to shall issue as far as permits. However, now there are no FFLs in Washington, D.C., so the Washington Metropolitan Police Department actually had to take over the D.C. PD, and they are backlogged and having extreme difficulty in transferring people's firearms to them. So D.C., even though it's now shall issue, people are having difficulty getting those items that they order to utilize in order to have their Second Amendment. Now, Washington, D.C. still has registration. Certain makes and models of firearms are banned. No such thing as NFA items allowed there, and the scary ARs and AKs, those are no-go as well. That puts Washington, D.C. at number 46. Number 45 is the Constitution state. That is Connecticut. Connecticut's going after 80% receivers, 80% lowers, the ghost gun law there. They have mandatory storage laws for the home and the car there, so your automobile has to have a safe installed in it. Connecticut is a May issue state. Their castle doctrine's relatively decent. ARs, no. Magazines, 10 rounds. And you can have suppressors, certain scenarios there as well. That's Connecticut, number 45. Number 44 is Maryland. Got a lot of people saying I should look into Maryland to move. Maryland is number 44 on this list. Maryland is a May issue state. It is very difficult to get your permit there. Now, black rifles are restricted, but they get full points on this scale regarding the NFA. So it's a good place to be if you're into the NFA items. But Maryland comes in at number 44. Number 43 is Rhode Island. There's some issues going on in Rhode Island, so I think they're going to drop a little on this as well. The legislature and the governor in Rhode Island, they're trying to tax firearms at 10% higher. They want to ban 3D printed guns. They've banned ghost guns. ARs and mags are legal. NFA items are not, unless you're a dealer. They have a duty to retreat, just like Massachusetts, when it comes to defending yourself if you're outside of your home. All that bunched up puts Rhode Island at number 43 in the best states for gun owners. Number 42 is Delaware. ARs and any type of magazine, no matter what the number that they put inside of it, are legal. Permits are decent to get. They also have reciprocity with 20 other states. Now, machine guns are illegal, as are suppressors, but you can have SBRs and AOWs, any other weapon, which helps Delaware come in at number 42 on this list. Number 41 is Illinois. Illinois has Chicago, so just because of that, they should be at the bottom of the barrel, in my humble opinion. However, the whole state is not run the way Chicago is, but it's not that far behind. They have a registration requirement now. Illinois does issue permits, but there is no reciprocity with any other state. Black rifles and mags are not restricted by state law. However, they don't have preemption, which allows cities to do that on their own. They restrict NFA. They have a decent use of force doctrine, castle doctrine, which helps bring Illinois in at number 42 in the best states for gun owners. Number 40 is Colorado. Colorado has red flag. ARs are legal, however, they have a magazine capacity limit at 15 rounds. They are shall issue when it comes to permits. And outside of the big cities, Colorado has a very strong culture for shooting and hunting and stuff like that. All of those items together put Colorado at number 40 on this list. Number 39 is Minnesota. Minnesota is one of those states where their house, the state House of Representatives, flipped to Democrat control, and a lot of attempts at anti-gun laws have been thwarted by their Senate. However, November is right around the corner. But Minnesota is shall issue for open carry and concealed carry. They have a strong castle doctrine. They allow machine guns if they're C&R, and for those who aren't aware, that's curio and relics, older stuff. They also allow short-barreled shotguns, short-barreled rifles, and suppressors. But you need a permit to transfer the scary black rifles. So all that stuff together puts Minnesota at number 39. Coming in at number 38 in the best states for gun owners is the state of Washington. And Washington has this thing called I-1639 that decimated gun rights. They have a mandatory 10-day wait if you want a semi-automatic rifle. They also have a storage requirement. But Washington has very, very strong self-defense laws. All those things together puts Washington at number 38 on this list. Number 37 is the green state, Vermont. They, for a long time, had some of the best gun laws in the country because they didn't have any. Now, Vermont is permitless carry, but they don't issue permits, which if you were to leave Vermont to have reciprocity, you would need a permit, but they don't issue those. Has the second lowest crime rate in the country. It's one of the safest places to live. And from my friends that I know that live there, a lot of people in the state carry firearms, and you can have some cool items there as well. Vermont comes in at 37 for the list of best states for gun owners. Number 36 is New Mexico. Now, New Mexico had shall issue for permits, but they just recently had red flag legislation, so this will drop on the list at the end of this year when they re-up these numbers. They had no restrictions on black rifles or NFA items, and they have some issues with their use of force doctrines, but like most of the West, once you get outside of the cities, it's very good for gun ownership. New Mexico comes in at number 36 on Guns and Ammo's list of best states for gun owners. Number 35 is Iowa. Iowa is a shall issue state. They do allow suppressors, but really nothing else on the NFA, and the Brownell store is there. So all of those things together put Iowa in at number 35. Number 34 is Nebraska. Nebraska, another shall issue state. They do not restrict at the state level black rifles or NFA items, but their castle doctrine, stand your ground, use of force laws are kind of weak, which helps put Nebraska at number 34. Number 33 is Oregon. Now, Oregon has solid use of force laws. They're also very good if you want to own a black rifle. And as long as you're away from like the coast, it's a solid place for gun owners. Oregon comes in at number 33. Number 32 is the Keystone State, Pennsylvania, not too far from me. And they've had some issues recently. But they're a shall issue state when it comes to CCW permits. They are cool with black rifles and cool with NFA items and pretty solid for use of force laws. Pennsylvania comes in at number 32. Number 31 on this list is Virginia, and it shouldn't be 31. Again, this was put out at the end of last year, just when Virginia flipped before the laws started this year on July 1st here in 2020. Yeah, if you watch this channel, you know all about what's going on in Virginia. Now, Virginia has very strong self-defense laws, but don't forget that Governor Northam is still coming after the assault weapon ban, so keep your eyes open. But Virginia, currently on this list, is number 31. Number 30 on the list of best states for gun owners is Maine. Maine is beautiful. If you have not been to Maine, you need to take a trip. It is absolutely gorgeous. If you do go there, you're going to hear this: you can't get there from here, or it's just down the road a piece. That's how they give directions. It's a very, very nice place to live. However, their winters are very cold, which is why I am not there. Maine is a constitutional carry state. Also will issue a permit if you want one. No restrictions on black rifles or NFA items. But if you're outside the home, you have a duty to retreat. So that kind of affected Maine's standing here on this list. Maine comes in at number 30. Number 29 is South Dakota. Now, South Dakota is permitless carry. They have a very strong preemption law. If you want a permit for reciprocity issues, they'll still give you one, but their use of force laws could use a little bit of help, and that puts South Dakota at number 29 on this list. Number 28 is my former residence for 3 years, and that is Louisiana. The sportsman state is another beautiful state. Now, Louisiana, when it comes to permits, it's a little give and take. It's expensive to get them. There are a lot of places where the restriction list is long, but when it comes to use of force, they're solid, as well as in the black rifle and the NFA categories. Louisiana comes in at number 28 in the best states for gun owners. Number 27 is Michigan. Michigan is a shall issue state. They have very strong use of force laws. They rate very high in the black gun and the NFA categories, but Michigan requires registration of handguns. That kind of helps set them back on the list to number 27. That's Michigan. Number 26 is the Tar Heel State, North Carolina, one of the places on my consideration list. North Carolina is pretty decent on their concealed carry laws. They have no restrictions on black guns or NFA items or magazines. They have very strong use of force laws to defend yourself, and they come in at number 26, North Carolina. Number 25 is Nevada. Nevada has changed in the last couple of years. They now have mandatory storage requirements. They prevent certain modifications of firearms. They have a red flag law. They're still solid on black rifle and NFA categories, and they're pretty decent on their issuance as far as permits go. But keep an eye on Nevada because their new governor is anti-gun. Number 25, Nevada. Number 24 is Florida. Florida. Y'all need to keep an eye on your last couple of years with these anti-gun laws that are passing. But Florida is still pretty decent for gun owners. The Guardian program allows armed teachers. They have a strong use of force laws when it comes to defending yourself. Their carry permit is pretty strong. They did put in their own bump stock ban. And don't forget about the ballot initiative that is going on in Florida looking to ban assault weapons. That's Florida, the Sunshine State, at number 24. Number 23 is Ohio. Great castle doctrine, self-defense type laws. Solid in permit laws as well as NFA and black rifle categories. That brings Ohio to number 23. Number 22, South Carolina, another one of the places I'm peeking at. They've tried a couple times to get constitutional carry, so hopefully that will continue. The permit system's pretty solid, considering no state regulations on NFA items or black rifles. All that helps South Carolina come in at number 22. Number 21 is Wisconsin. Now, yeah, we all know what's happened there recently with the Kenosha kid. However, Wisconsin's governor is very anti-gun. Wisconsin has a very strong right to carry law, excellent in the NFA and black rifle categories, as well as self-defense laws that are very strong, which will help the Kenosha kid out. All that puts Wisconsin at 21. Number 20 is Indiana. Very solid concealed carry laws. In fact, they're now free. The right to carry is very, very strong in Indiana. They have reciprocity with every other state, and open carry is legal. They're very solid in the NFA and black rifle categories, and they're very solid in the use of force area as far as self-defense. Indiana comes in at number 20. Number 19 is Arkansas. Recently, Arkansas slashed concealed carry permit fees. They've also clarified the legality of owning NFA items, including suppressors. They're very solid in the NFA area as well as black rifles. However, they do impose a duty to retreat outside the home, which hurts them in this ranking system and brings them to number 19. That's Arkansas. Number 18 is Alabama. Very, very pro-gun state, but recent years, the legislature hasn't been that way. Last year, they destroyed the bid for constitutional carry, as well as lifetime carry permits. But hopefully we'll see those again. Permits in Alabama are issued county by county and are shall issue for $20 a year, which I don't know about your state, but much better than my state. No restrictions in Alabama on black rifles, magazines, or NFA items, and that helps put Alabama at number 18 on the best states for gun owners. Number 17 is New Hampshire, just north of me. New Hampshire, the live free or die state, has changed drastically. Both chambers of their legislature are now controlled by Democrats. And the only thing keeping that state from swinging very anti-gun right now is Governor Sununu. He's vetoed every piece of anti-gun legislation that has made it to his desk. And this year's election is huge for New Hampshire. With that said, it is a constitutional carry state. If you want a permit for reciprocity issues, they are shall issue. Also a great place for black rifles, NFA items, and self-defense. New Hampshire comes in at number 17. Number 16 is Mississippi. shall issue state, permitless carry, no restrictions on black guns or NFA items. Mississippi is a very, very pro-gun state, and they're number 16 on this list. Number 15 is West Virginia. Very strong concealed carry and right to carry state. Very strong in the NFA and black rifle categories. West Virginia comes in at number 15 on the list of best states for gun owners. Number 14 is North Dakota, very solid in the NFA and black rifles category. They could use some help in their self-defense laws. Still a very, very pro-gun state. Number 14 is North Dakota. Number 13 is Tennessee. Basically tops out in every single category, with the exception of the concealed carry portion of their ratings, because they have two different permits and one allows campus carry, the other doesn't. When you get this high on this list, they're kind of splitting hairs, but Tennessee, another place that I'm taking a peek at, comes in at number 13 in the list of best states for gun owners. Number 12 is Missouri. The McCloskey couple has made this state famous. Missouri has permitless carry, a very strong castle doctrine, and they have stand your ground as well. No restriction on black rifles, no restrictions on NFA items, and a very strong legal framework for gun owners, and we're going to see how that plays out with the McCloskeys relatively soon. Number 12 is Missouri. Number 11 is Georgia, very high ratings in NFA, black rifle, castle doctrine. Again, here on out, they're just splitting hairs on what differs these states. So from here on out, I'll just give you the states in their numerical order because I'll be saying the same thing on each one. They're strong in each category. So 11 is Georgia. Number 10 is Texas. Texas could change drastically depending on this year's elections. It's one of the targets for Bloomberg. Number 9 is Montana. Number 8 is Wyoming. Number 7 is Utah. Number 6 is Kentucky. Number 5 is Oklahoma. Number 4 is Kansas. Number 3 is Alaska. Number 2 is Idaho. And number 1, with 10 points in each category across the board here on the best states for gun owners, is Arizona. Arizona has permitless carry, strong preemption laws, top-notch self-defense laws, and a lack of restrictions on individual firearms and accessories. And yes, it's on my list of future places to move to. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that this list proves helpful if you're in the market for a new residence, or if you're looking for future places when you retire or whatever. If you're a gun owner, these are the best and worst places to live, again, according to those 5 categories I mentioned earlier. Now, of course, there are going to be people who disagree and say that my state should be number 1, but like I said, when they get into that top 10, top 12, 15 category, they're really splitting hairs because the states in that top, especially the top 5, they're all super, super gun friendly. For now, of course. All right, guys, thank you for your time. Don't forget to check out Blackout Coffee, and I'll see you tonight for the live stream with the California Rifle and Pistol Association, and we're talking Duncan v. Becerra, the magazine ban case. Until we see each other again, I am Jared, the humble host of Guns and Gadgets. If you're looking for Second Amendment news, this is your home. You're going to have to check back regularly because YouTube is suppressing the channel big time. And please help by giving a like and share of each video you see. Please subscribe to the channel. And until we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, and carry a weapon. Take care, everybody.